Hello everyone, welcome back to the ninth video of this particular series. So in this video, we're going to do one hot coding for all of the variables that we have created, except for the numerical ones. Right, so for fair and age, we'll not be doing it. For the rest of them, we'll be doing the one hot coding. Also, family and is alone, we are not going to do it, right? So what I'm going to do is group these variables together, right? And I can also take the sex variable, sorry, cut it and paste it here, right? So all the numerical variables are here. Oh, I'm sorry, cabin, I can just get it here, right? Let me just save this. So basically, these are the numerical variables, and I'm just going to leave them as is. And for the rest of them, I'm going to basically create the one hot coding. Also, I am just going to take this one and paste it here. Okay, so these are the variables that we need to create one hot coding for. But for the intermediate ones, I will not be creating it, right? So I'm just going to mark them as probably dark gray, right? So I'm not going to do one hot coding for them. Only for the ones that are here, I'll be doing one hot coding, right? So what I'll do is I will get these variables here, and I'm going to get this variable here. Okay, so basically these are the ones that I don't need to create, so I'm just going to cut them and even place it just before this, right? So these are the variables obviously we'll be using, but these are the ones that we will be creating one hot coding for. Okay, now that we did some of the cleaning processes, what we're going to do is create the one hot coding for title. Now how can we do that? Let me just name this as clean ticket. So I'm just going to go to title, and I'm going to get all of these titles and place it here, right? So basically it's putting them on a horizontal basis so that I can create one hot coding or a dummy variables for them. But as we know, we have to create n minus one dummy variables from a particular categorical variable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this royalty one, right? Now let's do four of them is equal to if the title here, right, is equal to the title here, then we're going to say 1, else we're going to say 0. So that way, what will happen is this particular variable will divide it into whether it's going to be a Mr. or not a Mr. Right? But the only catch is when you drag the formula down or drag it this side, you need to fix these cells properly. So for this, I don't want it to shift right hand side. So I'm going to fix the column here. For the column name here, I'm going to fix it as F4 and then fix the row here, right? Say enter. And if you do this, wherever there's going to be Mr., it's going to mark as 1. And this is the concept of dummy variables or one hot coding, guys. So whichever tool you do it, this is essentially what's happening, right? So for the better sake, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move this up, and I'm going to put title and give a space, obviously. Give title underscore and then give Mr. here, right? The reason I do it is it will be easy to identify what kind of variable it is, and when I'm importing it within Python or R, it's easy for me to identify which variable is what, right? So remember the formula is on top, so I just cut and paste it so that the formula shifts along with it, and then I'm able to do this one hot coding. So if I drag this, I will get all this for all of them. But also if I select all the variables here and copy the cells towards the right hand side, I'm doing one hot coding for the rest of them here. right? Similarly, we have for embarked and cabin. Let me just get this here. This is the one that we'll do last. So for embarked and cabin also we'll have to do it. Let me go to embarked and get these also, right? And paste transpose, right? The formula is going to be placed here. Now I can simply copy one of these formulas, and I'm going to call this as embarked, right? So embarked SCQ. Now we know that we have to get rid of one of them, right? So I can safely get rid of Q and then have two of them. I'll just copy this formula here, right? And I'm going to shift this to embarked and press enter, right? So I did this. I can go to the right hand side, copy the cells, right? Then I got the second set of variables hot coded, right? Then we have cabin. So I'm just going to go to the cabin column, select all of them here, and then paste transpose. I'm just going to get rid of T here. So n minus 1 concept again here. I'm going to shift them up like the others. Similarly, copy one of them here, change this embark to cabin. I'm going at jet speed, guys, but it's a repetitive work, but this has to get done, right? I'm going to copy this here towards the right hand side, just one formula, and I'm going to shift the reference to cabin here, right? So that way, I'm going to go to the last cell here, Control Shift up. If you want to follow along with me, I'll do Control D to copy down, and if I take Shift and right arrow, I'll select all the other variables, and I can do Control R to copy rest of the formulas there, right? Similarly, the last one is ticket. What I can do is I can take the last set that is available here, copy it, right? And so we're just going to leave the single ones there for better purposes. Right click and say transpose. Now in this, we're just going to get rid of this single ones, right? Okay, so these are the variables. There's a lot of them. So similar thing, I'm going to cut this and paste it here. Quite similarly, copy the formula here. Now instead of cabin, I'll just replace it with ticket and then copy these formulas, right? Now similarly, copy the formula here, just one of the cells, and change the reference of this to ticket, right? Similarly, I want to go down, Control D will copy it down, right? And then I'm going to basically select this column entirely, and I can just shift up to see, give me a visual reference. Oops, sorry. Let me do this. Control down, Control Shift up, down by two arrows while holding the shift, and while holding the shift I can do right arrow and select towards the last column. So if I do Control R, I do one hot coding for the rest of the variables also. Now all of the variables that we have here is one hot coded, right? So there were so many variables that we created here. Now obviously we are not going to reuse these particular ones, so I'm going to turn this as another color here. So I'm just going to do it dark green, and I'm going to take these colors and make them as green color, right? So these are the variables that we'll be using. The green colors are the one that we'll be using, plus these are the ones that we'll be using, and last P class is the one that we'll be using. Along with that, these all also will be there because obviously these are the references that we need to take care of it.